This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
I'm just happy. I love Indianapolis as a city, and I know that something like that had to be an oversight.
Only on RTV6, the privacy concern that led police to pull millions of reports, why the reports are no longer available to the public on the internet, and what you need to do if you need the information.
Malfunctioning lights on I-65 near downtown, leaving drivers in the dark. Working for you, we're looking at the reason the lights have stayed off and what's being done to fix it.
The need for nannies. New this morning in Hiring Hoosiers, I'm looking at why this type of child care provider is in high demand.
Plus, a scam costing thousands of dollars stopped at the checkout.
I said, who is this? And he said, your grandson. I said, Daniel, is this you?
The vigilant store clerk that saved this woman's bank account and how you can avoid falling victim so you don't waste your money.
And it is 6 o'clock here on your Monday morning, February 10th. Thanks for waking up with us on Good Morning Indiana.
It is soggy out there.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah.
I almost pulled out my ark, but I just needed the canoe this morning.
I don't know where you would have parked said ark.
I'll find a place, Todd Clauston.
We have been talking about this rainfall that we had. I don't know about you guys down on the south side yesterday, but up on the north side, it was almost as if the same consistency as a slushie was falling from the sky. That has all since melted, and now it's just wet out there, Todd.
You know, we went from the snow initially for some of you yesterday, coming down with those big, huge flakes, and then the rain. Then it became slushy, and now it's just wet out there as we're dealing with temperatures above freezing, which is great news as you start your commute. And we also have some additional rain still falling across the area. It's light but steady here. Martinsville, Nashville, down to Bloomington, into the Franklin area. A little bit of heavier rainfall from Anderson down to Knightstown, over to Newcastle, and then into western portions of Wayne County, and then around the metro area, light rainfalls. But here's the back edge, at least for the metro area. Move through Lebanon, you're done with the rain. Danville, you'll be done with it shortly as it quickly races off towards the east. So we only deal with these rain showers for another hour or two in that 2-hour time frame as the further east you are. Once the rain moves out, one thing we'll have to keep an eye on is the potential, at least, of maybe some patchy fog developing across the area as this whole system becomes a bigger issue for the East Coast if you have travels in that direction today. So as we get you out the door, the rain continues to fall. The temperatures will hold pretty steady, anywhere from 35 to 42 degrees. We'll talk about this afternoon and the rest of the week coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on those roads this morning, and as we've been telling you all morning long, they are wet, so watch for ponding as you're heading out here. Here is a look right now at I-465 at Emerson Avenue. You can see that traffic is moving along up to speed, so again, just use caution out there for the wet roads. We'll continue to keep you updated, but over here on the west side, we do want to show you some drive times on our Traffic Now map. Eastbound I-74 from State Road 267 traveling through Brownsburg to the I-465 ramps on the west side. No delays, a 7-minute commute.
New this morning and only on RTV6, millions of police records are no longer online after an Indianapolis man reaches out to RTV6 for help.
You see, the police report that he bought online for $5 had personal information which should not have been seen.
Click, click, click. That's it. Pay $5 and you're on.
David Leeper needed a police report. It involves an incident from 2001 when he was 18. The now 37-year-old bought an online police report and was surprised that Social Security numbers were on it.
I believe this was an oversight, had to be an oversight for socials to be easily accessible like that. I never, ever want someone to be able to easily access my information and utilize my credit. Worked really hard to improve it. I'd hate for somebody to come through and wreck it in a reckless shopping spree.
I asked David not to post anything on social media until the issue was fixed. RTV6 contacted Metro Police.
Within hours, there was no trace of any of those reports.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Nearly 3 million incident reports from the years 2000 through 2013 are no longer available online as a precaution. The ability to buy a police report online is a convenience. There are many reasons why someone may need one, including to file an insurance claim, to learn more about the history of a home before buying it, or to conduct an informal background check.
2,948,000. And of those, we believe an extremely small number contained any personally identifiable information that was ultimately available to be purchased online, and then we believe it's an even smaller number that were actually purchased online.
Metro Police has asked its vendor to scrub the affected reports. It's unclear when they'll show up again online.
We have employed safeguards throughout the years to protect the privacy and the personal information of our victims and people involved in incidents that we become involved with.
So, Raphael, some police reports are still available through the city's website.
Yeah, those other reports were on the old system. The reports on the new system, which are the years 2013 through today, are still available online for purchase and are safe. But if you need a police report from the years 2000 through 2013, you will need to drive to the City County building in downtown Indianapolis and check in with the IMPD help desk. The report from those years will be reviewed, and if necessary, personal information will be redacted before it is passed out. Again, all the reports that are affected have been removed. In fact, we waited until the reports were all moved, which took a couple of days. That's why there's a delay in reporting for us, because we did not want a criminal to think, hey, let me go online and steal a report.
Take advantage.
It's not available. So if you're a crook, don't try it. They've pulled the reports.
All right, Raphael. And if you need to see what you can and cannot get online, we have this complete story for you right now on the RTV6 app.
The time right now is 6:06. Working for you, we begin looking into your concerns about dark places along the interstates because lights are out. Back in January, we told you about 3 high traffic areas, and we got to work. Our Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning with what's being done to turn the lights back on. Kelsey, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So from where I'm standing right now near I-65, I can see at least 4 lights that are out right now over the interstate. So if you look just over the speed limit sign, you can see there's 1 light out, and then to the left, another one. So there were 3 specific areas where the light bulbs were out, making it difficult to see, especially during severe weather or rain like we're having this morning. So here was behind the lights out. Along Lafayette Road, some homeowners complained the lights were too bright in their backyards along Moeller Road. So 3 lights were turned off, but the rest along I-465 near East Street, IPL was working on replacing meter service. In several cases, the workers mistakenly did not turn the breakers back on. And on northbound 65, several lights near mile marker 109, where we're at right now, are still out. IPL is doing service work to several light meters in that stretch of road. NDOT says once it's made aware of an outage, its contract has 30 days to replace the bulbs or make repairs.
Safety obviously is our #1 priority for every Hoosier that, crosses our path on our interstates every single day.
If you need to report a light outage on the interstate, the best way to do that is to go to ndot4u.com. Coming up in the next half hour, why the state spent about $500,000 on a lighting program that they say will save you money. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
The time now is 6:08 and happening today, a funding controversy. The Martinsville City Council will discuss how to pay for a new stage. Under an initial proposal, $150,000 for a portable stage would have come from the Water and Sewer Fund. Working for you, RTV6 was the first local TV station to tell you about that controversial idea last week. Leaders told us they're backing off that plan after a lot of backlash. Water bills in Martinsville more than doubled last fall.
Also happening today, Indianapolis leaders will announce new technology to help connect people in need to food resources and nutrition assistance. Community Compass can be used to find things like food pantries, hot meal sites, farmers markets, and more. It can also help you determine if you may qualify for SNAP, WIC, or other benefits. We'll learn more at the formal announcement scheduled for 2 o'clock at Windsor Village Park Family Center.
Here at 6:09, soon students, staff, and visitors can get tampons, pads, and similar products for free at Purdue University. Student advocates have been pushing to make feminine hygiene products free for several years now. Audrey Ruppel, the chair of the Equity and Diversity Committee, is part of the faculty group that supported this change.
This is something that we see over and over in in the U.S., but around the world too, where women are treated in an inequitable fashion than men. So the fact that we have sanitary products that we're charging for women, whereas we're not charging for things like toilet paper or paper towels or even soap and soap dispensers, which are all also hygiene products.
Free products will be available in every campus bathroom that already has the feminine hygiene dispensers. This is an issue RTV6 has been following for months now. You may remember back in November, we told you about the organization Project Period. The group distributes pads, tampons, wipes, even carrying bags to schools in downtown Indianapolis, Franklin and Perry Townships, and Decatur Central. They also made deliveries to homeless and youth shelters.
The time now is 6:10. Eskenazi Health is hiring Hoosiers, and they want to get the word out this morning. The Health Network reached out to RTV6 to share more information about a recruitment event. Now, this will be held tomorrow from 3 to 6 at the downtown hospital campus and is open to all imaging professionals, registered nurses, and RN students who will graduate in May. Officials say Indianapolis is really a good market for nurses and radiology techs, and Eskenazi says they offer competitive wages and benefits. For more information on how to RSVP for this networking event, go to hiringhoosiers.com and click on the career resources page. Now, last weekend it was Shakira and J-Lo that kept me up all night long but then it was the Oscars. The winner is the Oscars right here on RTV6.
Several movies that played at last fall's Heartland International Film Festival here in Indy were among the nominees and winners.
Yeah, so Parasite, which brought home 4 Academy Awards last night, including Best Picture, was actually a late add to the Heartland roster. The film was just the latest in what's becoming a longer list of Oscar winners to come through the Circle City. We talked recently with artistic director Greg Sorvig about how Heartland is becoming a bigger name on the movie festival circuit.
We used to be very insular. We didn't travel to other festivals, and I don't know if we expected people to come to us. So I've been at Heartland in 8 years, and it's been pretty special seeing the rise and expansion as well too. But it's been good instead of us telling people, hey, this is what we are. It's just more like, hey, good to see you again, or they know who we are, which is very refreshing.
Well, in addition to Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, and Marriage Story, all up for Best Picture played at Heartland. 12 Academy Award nominated films in all played here in Indy.
Keeping it consistent, it can be difficult to find childcare to fit your family's needs. This is obviously the incorrect video. Joe Biden won't be babysitting anytime soon. But new at 6:15, I will look into the increased demand for nannies and the Central Indiana business looking for applicants.
All right, as you walk out the door here this morning, some of you are going to need the rain jacket as rain showers continue to make their way through Central Indiana. Not going to last too much longer, though. We'll talk more about it coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast.
They've never drove through Indiana. Met the man who plowed that earth, planted that.
You can drive to Noblesville and catch Jason Aldean and more than a dozen other big stars. This summer, keep watching Good Morning Indiana for your chance to win a pair of country mega tickets right here on RTV6. The time now is 6:13. Good Morning Indiana.
I bet that mile-long Santa Fe freight train.
Keller and Keller.
Hiring Hoosiers is RTV6's initiative connecting you to opportunities, education, and resources.
And so we've all been doing the stories now for a year. One major trend that we've all noticed while doing our stories is that the impact of childcare can have on one's ability to maintain that employment.
That's right. So for the next 3 days, we're looking into a company that does all that legwork for you when it comes to hiring a nanny, and it's looking to hire.
We'll also hear from a nanny who used to work in the corporate world and why the family that hired her decided traditional daycare just wasn't going to work for them.
Was in the kindergarten classroom for a few years and transitioned to nannying, and then after I was there for like a year nannying, and I loved it so much and I loved telling people about it. People would ask, oh, how did you get your job and how did you, find your family? And
that's when Indy Nanny Concierge was born.
When
a family comes to me and says, you know, hi, we're looking for a nanny, they give me their qualifications and all the things that they'd like to see in their nanny, as well as the timing and the schedules.
Morgan Courier makes sure each search is individualized and that the nanny will fit the family's needs.
Tell the families that I work with that it's a minimum of 30 hours.
Right now, she says she can't keep up with demand and needs more nannies. She can place anyone from college students to retirees, but there is one major requirement.
First and foremost is just a love for children, a love to play and teach and educate and be part of their world. I like to find nannies that have a background in education or a background in nursing.
She also tackles the background and reference checks, and when a match is made, a legally recognized contract will be signed. Nannies can stand to make between $18 and $25 an hour, depending on experience, proving it's much more than a babysitting gig, but a full-blown career.
It's a much better option because during the day, you know, there's someone still keeping your household running. There's someone still taking out the trash and wiping down the countertops and, you know, cleaning high chairs, doing laundry. So when you come home, it's not all on the parents anymore.
Now, if you're someone who is interested in becoming a nanny, Morgan recommends being CPR certified, being knowledgeable in first aid, and taking a class at Ivy Tech or somewhere similar if you have little child care experience. Tomorrow, I sit down with a nanny who explains why and how she made a transition from the corporate world into the role of a nanny.
We look forward to that story tomorrow. The time now is 6:18, and it's time to check on your forecast. Call me Noah from the south side because, whoa.
Wow.
A lot of water today. Todd Clausen?
Yeah, you know, would you rather have your kayak or your snowblower going here? That's kind of, you know, the trade-off. Snowblower?
Okay.
All right. You know, yeah, had all this been snow, it started off as snow yesterday for some of us. Had it not changed, we'd have had over a foot of snow. We've had 1.3 inches of rain so far in Indianapolis, and that was just yesterday. We've tacked on more this morning. We're finally starting to see it come to an end, though, across the area. That's the good news. Some pockets of moderate rainfall right along I-70 here as you work your way out of Henry County into portions of Wayne County towards the Richmond area. Anderson, Muncie, we're dealing with some rain. Greenfield as well. The back edge of the rain now just making its way into the Brownsburg area. This will push into Speedway and eventually downtown Indianapolis within the next probably 20 to 30 minutes or so. And then down to the south, we're dealing with scattered rain showers across Bloomington, Martinsville, back towards Spencer. But finally seeing an end to this rain across central Indiana as this back edge will continue now to quickly make its way eastward. So as far as your commute goes this morning, if you're walking out the door right now in those areas where I showed you whether it's rain, obviously it's going to be a wet drive for you. To the north, the rain's already come to an end. If you could just wait another hour to maybe 2 hours to start your morning commute, you should be just fine. It'll still kind of be damp out there and the roads will be wet, obviously, but you won't really have much in the way of additional rainfall in your neighborhood. The exception for those of you to the east and southeast, you'll hang on to the showers just a little bit longer here throughout the morning hours, and by this afternoon we're dealing with cloudy skies, maybe a few peaks of sunshine, especially to the north, but not expecting any widespread sunshine across the area throughout the day today. Here's the view from IMS looking back towards downtown Indianapolis. Improvement. You couldn't see the skyline earlier. Now if you look closely you can. The temperature's at 37 degrees. The winds are out of the north-northwest at 8 miles per hour. That wind direction shows you that the cold front has now made its way through at least downtown Indianapolis, still progressing to the east where temperatures are in the 40s, yep, in Bedford as well as Connorsville. Once your temperatures fall into the 30s, and we all get there this morning, they'll basically stay there throughout the remainder of the day. 35 with clouds for the noon hour, 36 degrees at 2 p.m. And then your high temperatures this afternoon get back up to only right around 37 degrees. Tomorrow's a drier day for us. Enjoy, with temperatures that'll be back up to right around 40 degrees. Going forward in this forecast, another weather maker heads our way on Wednesday. Look for showers and snow showers to develop Wednesday evening. Could be some accumulation into Thursday morning. And then Friday, the temperature on Valentine's Day, only 26 degrees. Going to be a cold one across the area after a morning low of 10. The good news is it's just a quick hit of cold air. By the time we get to Saturday and Sunday, Lauren, temperatures back into the 40s.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We are monitoring your roads this morning from our live drive vehicle, and you can see here that you're going to need those windshield wipers this morning as you're traveling over on the east side. This is I-70 eastbound near Post Road. The good news, open roads in that area, no crashes to slow you down. We do have a report on the south side of a wreck at Harding Street near I-465. No reports of injuries there. Of course, we'll continue to monitor your roads. Watch for ponding as you're heading out.
February is American Heart Month, and each morning we're giving you tips for a healthier lifestyle. Playing tag with your kids and spouse and help provide exercise and relieve stress. These tips are part of the Go Red for Women campaign sponsored by the American Heart Association. And the time right now is 6:22. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
And only at Ashley Home Store. This is home.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. It's time to talk about what is trending at 6. And here on Good Morning Indiana, we like to celebrate birthdays, right?
Yes.
Well, here's one we didn't know about, so we didn't bring him treats. So sorry, Aflac Duck. It's his birthday. Happy birthday. Yeah. The little guy first waddled onto TV screens in the year 2000. The Aflac Duck followed the Geico Gecko by just a few months. The company says the sales have been swimming since the introduction of the duck, up 325% in the last 2 decades.
Oh, next year we can buy him a cocktail.
Right?
Perfect weather for ducks today in central Indiana. So how fitting that we talk about ducks today. Moving along, the demolition of a building in Pennsylvania was the site of a very unexpected surprise. You see, crews began demolishing a condemned building in Washingtonville. As outer layers of the old structure came off, a log cabin was discovered underneath. Officials estimate that cabin may have been there since the 1700s. Crews are now working to preserve whatever they can. What an amazing find in that location. Wow.
This transmission is for K9 Bruno. He has just finished his last shift on duty and is now headed for retirement. Thank you for your 7 years of service. Thank you for all your hard work and for making sure your handler got home safe every night.
K9 Bruno will not have to report for work this morning at the Oro Valley Police Department in Arizona. The police department posted this video of the hardworking pup's last day on the job. His reward, an ice cream sandwich and some belly rubs. Bruno's last call also included an assignment to chase rabbits instead of bad guys. He was so happy to have that ice cream sandwich. His eyes got so big, so cute. And is that what you want when you retire, just one ice cream sandwich?
No, I want a box. I want a box. They come in 12 or 16 or 24. So I want a box of ice cream sandwiches.
Not just one where we hold it.
Right.
Yeah, we hold it here and let you eat out of our hands.
We'll keep that in mind.
After the show. Retirement not anytime soon now, so that's good for us. All right, outside right now we're dealing with a rain making its way through central Indiana. Temperatures are in the 30s and 40s, right at 40 in Bloomington, 32 in Logansport. So you've dipped down to freezing now. However, the rain is done in your area, but there could be maybe a slick spot or two on the roadways. Most of the shower activity will be out of here within the next hour or two, and then throughout the afternoon hours, just cloudy skies, steady temperatures in the mid to upper 30s.
Todd, thank you. Well, people lose money to phone scammers all the time. The sad thing is they often lose that money right in front of bank tellers and store clerks.
So new this morning, John Mattery shows us how shoppers in one store just stopped a scam right in its tracks so you don't waste your money.
So many older people fall for phone scams these days, often losing thousands of dollars. But thanks to a quick-thinking shopper and a Target store clerk, one woman has been saved from a scam. Karen Rotter was grabbing some items in Target, but what she heard by this rack of gift cards, they were standing right here,
yes,
stopped her in her tracks.
And I overheard a conversation from what I assumed was an employee at Target.
Hello? This 79-year-old woman, Helen, was in a heated conversation with a Target clerk as she tried to buy $1,000 worth of gift cards. It started an hour earlier when Helen got a phone call from her grandson who said he'd just been arrested.
I said, who is this? And he said, your grandson. I said, Daniel, is this you?
He needed bail money immediately.
I needed to go to Target and get 2 $500 gift certificates.
How convinced was she that this was real?
She was pretty convinced.
Karen says it was obvious that Helen wasn't buying what the store clerk had to say and that the older woman was still determined to buy those gift cards. So that's when she decided to get involved.
I said, you don't seem to be believing this person working here, but this is a very common scam.
It suddenly dawned on Helen that maybe it wasn't really her grandson on the phone. So she put down the gift cards and instead called police. Helen doesn't want us to use her last name, but wants to publicly thank Karen and the young Target clerk.
All the people at Target was real nice to us, and Karen has been extra nice to us.
Lesson here, if you see a confused older person making hundreds of dollars of gift card purchases, you might want to alert a sales clerk that something may be wrong so you don't waste your money. Working for you, I'm John Batteries. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana on this Monday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. Concerns about violence may come up today when new police chief Randall Taylor talks at a community event. The McDonald's in Broad Ripple will host coffee with the chief from 1 to 2:30 this afternoon. The city says it's an opportunity for people to talk to the chief in a casual setting.
The meeting comes as police continue to investigate a weekend shooting near Fountain Square that apparently started as a case of domestic violence. Police found a man and a woman with gunshot wounds at a home on Orange Street and South Randolph Street. The man was taken to the hospital in critical condition. The woman's injuries were not life-threatening.
Now let's take you to Hendricks County. An off-duty Plainfield police officer accused of operating a vehicle while intoxicated. State police arrested Officer Patrick Tucker on Friday after he responded to an emergency response team call. Tucker was arrested after he was given a certified breathalyzer test. He is now on unpaid leave pending a recommendation for termination to the Plainfield Police Commissioner Board.
A tough day for the Bulldogs in Milwaukee. They jumped out to an early lead, but Marquette took control midway through the first half and never looked back. Marquette cruised to a 76-57 win over Butler that could knock the Bulldogs out of the top 25. Butler is now tied with Providence for 5th place in the Big East. And Rafael, you told us to wear black and gold for the Oscars this morning. I'm wearing black and gold for my Boilermakers. How about that game this
Let's
weekend?
hear it. Let's hear it.
Boiler up.
Thank you. Okay. All right. It's a soggy start of the week. Boy,
oh my
all
goodness.
that rain.
And can you imagine if that was snow right now? Luckily, it's a little bit warmer.
Yeah.
So, Todd, we're dealing with the rain this morning.
Yeah, and you know what a week it's been. A week ago today, I was forecasting high temperatures in the 60s, and we got to a record high. And then last week we went through the rain. This week, snow and rain, and we're still seeing rain across parts of central Indiana this morning. And this whole entire week, as I'll show you coming up in Maine weather in just a little bit, it's just going to be up and down. But first things first, it's Monday morning. Grab that extra cup of coffee, get out the door with some rain showers here still in Nashville, as well as Bloomington, coming to an end though in Martinsville. Light rain in Franklin as well as Shelbyville in and around the metro area. The rain starting to come to an end, tapering off to just some spotty showers in Carmel as well as Brownsburg. Eastern locations here, you'll hang on to the rain the longest for your morning commute. So if your travels take you from, say, Indianapolis eastward towards Richmond, you'll continue to move with the rainfall as it pushes off towards the east. But again, the back edge coming through the central portion of the state as of right now. But it has been a very, very wet stretch of weather. 1 to 2 inches of rain has fallen across most of the area since yesterday. By this afternoon, we're starting to thin the clouds out just a little bit in northern locations. I don't think we'll ever get completely rid of the clouds, but at least the skies could try to brighten just a little bit for some of you, with temperatures today holding Lauren pretty steady in the mid-30s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We want to show you those wet roads this morning. This is part of your commute over here on the east side of town, I-70 near I-465. Over on the east side, where traffic is moving along up to speed, you'll need the windshield wipers. Take it slow and watch for ponding on your roads this Monday morning. At 6:32, an effort to save money and keep you safe on the interstates on the roads is marking its first year. And while we've heard that some of the lights are not working properly on the interstates, NDOT tells us they are committed to making sure that this program works, and they hope to eventually expand it across the state of Indiana. Our Kelsey Anderson has been looking into this issue. She joins us live this morning with more. And Kelsey, you're in a dark spot right now.
Yeah, that's right. Where we're at right now, near 65, I can see at least 4 lights over the interstate that are out right now. And you've brought those concerns to us, so we looked into it. And while we were looking into it, we've heard about a new program that NDOT is testing. They tell us the last summer they invested about $500,000 on installing LED lights along its East Central District. That district includes Marion County, 465, as well as Hamilton, Hancock, and Delaware, and Madison counties. The state is testing the new lighting system to see whether it will expand to the rest of the state.
We spent, about $500,000 on our LED program this summer, which sounds like a big expense now for a bunch of light bulbs, but in the end, it'll save taxpayers money because LEDs are environmentally friendly. They give out more light, they go out less, so our maintenance crews aren't having to go up and change light bulbs all the time.
If you need to report a light outage on the interstate, INDOT spokeswoman says the best way to get results is to report it to indot4u.com, or you can call the number, which is 855-463-6848. Crews have 30 days once you report that outage to fix the light. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Make them aware and they'll get the job done. The time now is 6:34. New this morning from Johnson County. A man now in custody after officers in Bargersville say they came under fire while responding to a domestic call. Around 10 o'clock last night, police were called to the Clary Crossing Apartments. That's near State Road 135 and Stones Crossing Road. An officer arriving on the scene says gunshots were fired at him by a man. Police say that man then threw the gun on the ground and he was eventually taken into custody. No one was hurt and police have not released the name of that suspect. The time now is 6:35. Of course, gun violence has been a major topic here in Indianapolis all year long, especially last week with the murders of 4 people at a Northeast Side apartment complex. This past weekend, the city's young people had a chance to have their say on this issue.
True Dialogue Part 4 was a forum led by teens from across the city, including those with close connections to last week's gunfire. And as our Troy Washington found out, this forum gave them a chance to talk directly to the new police chief.
For Michael Owens, doing the right thing hasn't always been the easy choice.
I think it was a week ago, and the judge told me, like, if I get in trouble again, I'm through. Not to really sit and understand, like, I can't keep doing what I'm doing, I gotta change.
In fact, it was only recently the 15-year-old got the wake-up call that changed his life, but he can't help but think about the 4 victims, not much older than him, who lost their lives in Wednesday's quadruple murder.
I learned my lesson, but a situation like that, the only lesson that they learned was death. So it's sad to say it, but it's true.
For him, the Shady Oak Drive apartment complex shooting hits too close to home. It happened across the street from his grandmother's house where he spends most of his time.
And I was just thinking, like, what if I was there? For me, it was close.
When Owen showed up to Saturday's True Dialogue 4 forum, the violence was fresh on his mind. And he wasn't alone. Every other young person in the building came ready to share. The teenagers discussed their struggles in the classroom to what they're dealing with in their neighborhoods that they feel like adults simply wouldn't understand. The IMPD police chief showed up to listen to the young people taking the stage in hopes that solutions emerge from the dialogue. Owen says he has a few ideas to save young people from feeling trapped and resorting to violence to cope with the trauma of their everyday lives.
Pull kids out the streets, really get under their skin, talk to them. For me, take them in. If they feel like they ain't got nobody, show them a different way.
He suggests that's the only way to heal the pain the streets brings.
Take them places, let them see different stuff. You know, the streets is not it.
Working for you, Troy Washington, RTV6.
Troy, thank you. One more day until the next big contest in the race for the White House. Coming up, the last-minute push by the Democratic candidates in New Hampshire.
And a concern for privacy behind the decision to pull nearly 3 million Metro Police incident reports from the internet. What years are impacted? You see them there, and what you need to do if you need one of those reports.
Cares like family.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time now is 6:40 and only on RTV6. Metro Police have pulled nearly 3 million incident reports from the system as a precaution. The police reports from the years 2000 through 2013 were available online for the public to buy. Those reports were removed from the online portal after an Indianapolis man bought a report from 2001 that included Social Security numbers. Metro Police was surprised that that information was available and decided to remove the reports before 2013 to be safe.
We do not believe this is a widespread problem. We believe this is a very, very isolated incident, a very small percentage of the number of reports that we wrote during that time in Tiburon.
So let's be clear. Reports from 2013 through the present on the new system are not involved in this and can still be purchased online. They will be there. But if you need a police report from the year 2000 through 2013, you will need to drive to the city county building in downtown Indianapolis. The reports from those years will be reviewed, and if necessary, personal information will be redacted before it is passed out to you.
Now to the race for the White House in the New Hampshire primary, just one day away. The latest polling shows the top two candidates from Iowa are also leading in the Granite State.
Senator Bernie Sanders and former South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg are trying to maintain their momentum as they fight off increasing attacks from their opponents. ABC's Trevor Ault has more from Manchester, New Hampshire.
With now less than 24 hours before New Hampshire casts its votes, Democratic presidential candidates aggressively campaigning down to the final moments. Mayor Pete Buttigieg has been surging since his strong showing in Iowa. He's pushing back against claims from former Vice President Joe Biden that he's trying to brand himself as the next Obama.
Well, he's right. I'm not Barack Obama, and neither is he. Neither is anyone running for president right now. And this isn't 2008, it's 2020.
With Buttigieg siphoning some of his supporters, Biden now sitting in fourth in the latest New Hampshire polls. This weekend, he continued to unleash more pointed attacks about Buttigieg's lack of experience.
What has he done? Who has he pulled together? Does he know any of the foreign leaders?
Senator Amy Klobuchar also riding some momentum from a strong debate showing, seeing some of her largest crowds yet.
Every step of the way, we have defied expectations.
But right now, the New Hampshire frontrunner is still Senator Bernie Sanders, who dominated in 2016 and is confident he can pull off a repeat.
If we win here in New Hampshire, and with your help, I think we can win. It'll make it easier for us to win in Nevada and in South Carolina and in California.
Another candidate to watch out for is Senator Elizabeth Warren, hoping to break out from the middle of the pack. And while her poll numbers have been slipping, she and Senator Klobuchar and former Vice President Joe Biden all say no matter what happens here in New Hampshire, their campaigns are built for the long haul. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Manchester, New Hampshire.
The biggest night for the film industry was last night's big Oscar show, but there's a new theater coming soon to Indianapolis that could show you films you won't see anywhere else, including perhaps some future Oscar winners.
All right, country music fans, the wait is almost over. Just after the break, your chance to win 2 country music mega tickets, getting you in the doors to 8 exciting concerts. Be sure to watch for your cue to call. But first, let's check in with Todd.
Yeah, concert season means warmer weather. You will enjoy that in the future. Today, though, we're walking out the door to some scattered showers here across the area. So as the kids head off to the bus stop, the good news is they'll start to come to an end here within the hour. And as the kids come home from school and you come home from work, just cloudy skies, temperatures in the 30s. We do have an up and down week of weather with some warmth, some bitter cold temperatures, and some snow. We'll leave it there. We'll see you in Maine weather coming up in just a few minutes.
To make a difference. Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana on this Monday. It is 6:46, and here is a look from our live drive vehicle heading to the southwest side of town on westbound I-465 near Harding Street. You can see traffic is picking up a little bit. The windshield wipers going strong this morning. Use caution and watch for ponding. Well, some of the winners at the 92nd Academy Awards, everyone expected, right? But some others made history.
The acting honors at the 2020 Oscars mostly went to the favorites, but it was a foreign language film that ended up stealing the show last night.
But first, the familiar names who took home those golden trophies. The Best Supporting Actor winner, Brad Pitt for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Then Renee Zellweger was named Best Actress for her portrayal of Judy. Laura Dern took home Best Supporting Actress for Marriage Story, and Best Actor went to Joaquin Phoenix for The Joker. But the night belonged to my favorite movie, Parasite. In addition to Best Picture, the Asian film also won Best International Feature Film, Best Director, and then made history as the first foreign language film ever to win Best Picture.
I feel like a very opportune moment in history is happening right now.
The only other person to win 4 Oscars in one year, of course, our very own ABC's Walt Disney back in 1954. Once again, here's a look at the night's biggest winners. And of course, stay with us. Coming up after Good Morning Indiana on GMA in about 12 minutes, they're taking you backstage with the winners and inside the after parties, which are still going on.
Well, many of the films that were honored last night came from the independent circuit. Those movies are hard to find here in central Indiana, but a new venue will soon be filling that void. The Can-Can Theater is being built in the Windsor Park neighborhood, just northeast of the core of downtown. The theater will eventually include 4 screens, from the largest with 150 seats to a very intimate setting of a 30-seat room.
Indianapolis has had an awesome burgeoning filmmaking community and film-loving community, but we've been missing a home to kind of gather all parties together.
Let us be your host. You come here. Let us be a convening space. Let's put your work up on the screen. Let's help all of you kind of come together. We all love film, and we've been all watching and programming film for years, so we just are so excited to bring that to a year-round venue.
Well, the Can-Can is hoping to have their premiere screening sometime before the end of March. They're also looking to be a host site for some of Indy's film festivals. Speaking of a good day to watch a movie, today.
Yeah, once upon a time in Indianapolis, there was a lot of rainfall.
Yeah, you know, and that theater will have a restaurant as well.
Oh,
you can enjoy the restaurant without going to the movie theaters, and well connected from the Cultural Trail to the Pogues Run Trail takes you right there. All right, outside right now, we're dealing with some rain showers here this morning, this afternoon. No, we're just dealing with some clouds. So you may want to grab the umbrella, especially if you're in eastern locations this morning. But by this afternoon, you won't need to have it handy, as we'll just be dealing with clouds. And here's what's left of the rain showers right now from Muncie over towards Newcastle into the economy area, Winchester. Some decent rain still falling. At least it's pretty steady. Starting to taper off here in and around the metro area to the east of downtown and down towards Franklin Township. We're dealing with rain showers back off to the west, Speedway, and then eventually into Brownsburg. You're basically done with the rain. Nashville, some showers. And once the rain ends in your neighborhood, there's still going to be that damp feel, and obviously the ground is still going to be very, very wet. You just won't have any additional precipitation falling from the sky as this rain continues to race off to the east and back to the west. There's really not a whole lot going on, and that's a brief break we get this afternoon through tomorrow and even into the first half of Wednesday with an opportunity to just dry out a little bit after what has been 1 to 2 inches of rain that has fallen across the area since yesterday afternoon. By 9 o'clock, just a few lingering showers off to the southeast, and that is just about it. And TrueCast trying to break the clouds apart this afternoon. It's not out of the question there could be a few peaks of sunshine, especially the further north you go. But if you do see that break in the clouds and the sun appear, it's probably going to be very short-lived, so enjoy it. And then overnight tonight, we'll see mostly cloudy skies once again. Temperatures continue to fall. We had some 50s earlier this morning. Everybody's into the 30s and 40s now. If you are in the 40s, Bloomington, Bedford, Connersville, you'll drop into the 30s here pretty quickly, and then temperatures will hold pretty steady throughout the afternoon hours, only getting back up to right around 37 to 38 degrees. This evening, another indoor event you can head to is the Pacers game. Brooklyn Nets in town to take on our Pacers. About 35 degrees as you walk into Bankers Life Fieldhouse, 33 as you walk out. Cloudy skies, but dry conditions. That's the good news. Tomorrow is a quiet day of weather for us, 40 degrees with skies that'll be partly to mostly cloudy. And then quickly push ahead to Wednesday for you. Most of Wednesday will be dry. After the evening commute, though, we'll start to see some rain and snow develop across the area. Still some time to fine-tune that forecast, but for those of you that do see snow, probably some minor accumulation. To the south, though, it looks like mainly rain. Quick shot of cold air on Friday with a high of 26, but back into the 40s for the weekend.
All right, Todd, thank you so much. We are monitoring your wet roads right now from our live drive vehicle. Our photographer, Shea Goodpaster, in the driver's seat. This is a dash cam view where you can see the windshield wiper is still working hard this morning. He's traveling around the 465 loop right now on the southwest side near Man Road, getting ready to round the corner there and head up northbound on I-465. You can see open roads there. Traffic's traveling up to speed.
Welcome aboard. A lot of passengers on this flight may have been waiting around for their rides for a very long time. We'll show you why this trip to Europe was way ahead of schedule.
All right, country music fans, here is the moment you've been waiting for all morning long. Right now is your chance to win a pair of country music mega tickets. These tickets get you in the doors for every country music concert at Ruoff Music Center this summer. A big deal. That includes shows like Kenny Chesney, Jason Aldean, Tim McGraw, and more. All you have to do is be the 6th caller right now. The phone number is on your screen, 317-269-1459. Good luck. The time right now is 6:53. We'll be right back.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Well, air traffic was certainly flowing smoothly for one transatlantic flight over the weekend.
British Airways now has the bragging rights for the fastest subsonic flight between New York and London. The British Airways Boeing 747 carrier reached a top speed, don't do this on I-465, of 825 miles per hour.
I mean, honestly, I'd be impressed if someone could do that on I-465. The flight took place between Saturday and Sunday and got to its destination in just 4 hours and 56 minutes. Almost an hour and a half ahead of schedule. According to Flight Radar 24, the average time for a trip from New York to London is about 6 hours and 13 minutes. Meteorologists say high winds from a winter storm helped the plane go even faster than it usually would. The record flight time is still awaiting official verification. You can't get across the country in that short amount of time, can you?
That's crazy.
Wow. It's amazing what a tailwind, especially a strong tailwind, to do. And then there was a Virgin Atlantic plane that did it in just like 2 minutes shorter, or 2 minutes longer than the British Airways one. So there were two of them that were like racing each other pretty much. They both left New York too. So yeah, spectacular. That is for sure. All right, outside right now, the rain's coming to an end. Lots of clouds today. Temperatures fairly steady in the mid-30s.
All right, Todd, thanks so much, and thank you for joining us. We're back here in 25 minutes and throughout Good Morning America.
All the news throughout the day is on the RTV6 app.
Good Morning America is next. Have a great day. We'll see you